I want a gown of diamonds, long gloves and sweet perfumes, hats made of silks and satins, sequins and ostrich plumes. I want to wear mascara, polish my nails real bright. I want to be an actress. Actresses play all night. Hi everybody, that's all that I want. And that was from My Name is Barbra 2. And welcome to Sunday with Ally, the Barbra Streisand Videocast for February 10th, 2013. And I sang that song because this week we found out that all that Barbra wants is not just to be an actress and play all night. As we know many, many times over, Our Lady has great ambitions, and this week she built on those ambitions by inking a new deal with a company called, let's see, what the hell? The name of the company is Ally-2-10-13, and it's a German company, and they have agreed to release her next film that she plans to direct, and probably is working on future deals beyond that. Barbra, as she nears the age of 71 this April, is showing no signs of slowing down. If anything, she's jumping into her career full force and plans on doing quite a few more things in the years to come, which is good for us. I mean, goodness gracious, did we ever expect this 51 years into her career? I don't know. I wasn't there at the very start of the career. I got in there a little bit later, but I am thrilled to know that Barbra's planning to direct more movies. Now, the logical assumption is that Ally-2-10-13 will be arranging the distribution and financing for Skinny and Cat, which is the film Barbra has been talking about directing with Colin Firth and Cate Blanchett about the Margaret Burke White story. But I have recently heard from a very good source that there may be a mid-major who is doing that distribution financing part of the deal. So this could be for something else. And what this person told me is that Barbra has quite a few scripts that she is considering. It is not Gypsy. Gypsy is fully financed. It is with Universal. It is with Joel Silver and Barbra co-producing. And we will be hearing very, very soon about Gypsy. I know I keep telling you that, and I know you guys keep saying, yeah, we heard it. Trust me. In the next few weeks, we will be hearing, okay? And so Ally-2-10-13 is not Gypsy, and it may be Skinny and Cat, or it may be some new projects that we know nothing about. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that great? All that I want is more Barbra. So anyway, it was a very good week. I mean, aside from that news, which came really kind of out of the blue, we also know that Barbra has the Oscars coming up. But in a more immediate terms, we got this week Classical Barbra remastered. Hallelujah, right? Beautiful remastered production by Columbia Masterworks. Included in that, of course, is the tray, which includes a different shot from the Esquire magazine cover. It's also a Francisco Scavullo shot, so clearly they had the rights to use it. The booklet here also has some other photographs in it, and very, very good notes. I thought the CD was terrific. Now, I know some of my audiophile friends are not thrilled with the remastering. I listened to it. I could definitely hear improvement on the original 10 songs. The two new songs, On Sylvia and Aftenwassen to Singen, sounded to me like they may not be from the same source material. They were not as brisk and bright and clear. However, they were wonderful. They're very, very up-tempo tunes. Aftenwassen, as we know, is definitely jaunty. And I can kind of see why those two songs didn't make the original cut. Because if you really, I mean, as I played Classical Barbra again, and I was just, the music is beautiful. It's just beautiful music. As I was listening to it again, it occurred to me that this music is almost like a reverie. Now, a reverie means it's like almost dreamlike. The songs flow one into the other. They have a similar ambiance, attitude, a quality to them. They're very, warming and comforting and not jarring. There's no widescreen in the middle of this, right? So if you were to put in those two up-tempo songs, you might have changed the mood of the album. So I can kind of understand why they might have chosen to do it this way. But I certainly encourage anybody who hasn't already ordered their copy or gone out to get their copy, go out, get it, find it. This only costs $10 at Amazon.com, and they even gave me, they lowered the price 10 cents, and they even gave me a refund on the 10 cents. So, brother, can you spare a dime? I can spare one. How do you like that? Now, back to the Oscar news. It was confirmed this week that Bill Ross, Barbra's conductor from the Back to Brooklyn tour and the 2006 tour, will be conducting the music at the Oscars. So that's one more factor to add to Barbra's comfort level and probably her decision to do the Oscars this year. I've got it on fairly good authority. Just like I told you last week, it looks like Barbra definitely is going to do The Way We Were. Now, I want to explain something to everybody. This broadcast goes out to 1 billion people, and they're looking to please the public, okay? So while you and I might love it if Barbra went out there and sang How Lucky Can You Get, or something, a song that should have been nominated for an Oscar, like Places That Belong to You. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to go for any kind of an obscure song. They're asking Barbra basically to sing her most popular song of her career, or right up there with Evergreen and People and Happy Days. So The Way We Were is, like I said last week, it's giving the public what they want. It's also a song that Barbra sang brilliantly at the Back to Brooklyn concert with that arrangement, the Marvin Hamlish arrangement. Now, she could do it as a tribute to Marvin. She could do it as, basically we're nearing the 40th anniversary of The Way We Were, which is coming up in, the film came out in '73, we're in 2013. You do the math, right? So she could do that. It's one of the most popular songs ever written for a movie. And let me tell you guys something. I'll never forget when the review for The Way We Were appeared in Variety, weekly Variety. I remember I used to buy Variety and look for any Barbra news. And I remember the review came out in Variety. It was the first one for The Way We Were. And you know what they said about the song? They called it a dull, plaintive song. Completely unmemorable. Yeah, that's what they wrote. Variety was dead wrong. And I'll never forget that, because I think I even looked up the word plaintively, which means simple. And there's nothing simple about The Way We Were, right? The song's got depth, it's got meaning. I also love the fact that Barbra changed certain things in that song. And if you've ever heard the bootleg version of her and Marvin in the recording studio, recording that version of The Way We Were plus The Way We Were 2, and you hear her singing the two different versions, you'll also hear her changing things in the known Way We Were, making it better. And we know she changed the lyrics. The lyrics used to begin with daydreams like the corners of my mind. Barbra changed them to memories like the corners of my mind. So there's all kinds of brilliant thing. You could do a whole documentary just on the song, The Way We Were, and how that came about, and what a great song it is. So anyway, like I said, my sources are telling me we could probably expect The Way We Were. Also, IMDb, which may or may not know, lists Barbra as performer The Way We Were. So it looks like we're going to get The Way We Were. If it's as good as the Back to Brooklyn version, I'll be a happy camper. And if they let her do the long version with the Ice Castle song, Through the Eyes of Love, and the tribute to Marvin, all the better. All the better. Now, another interesting thing about the Oscars, and this doesn't really relate to Barbra, except that, you know, this is a contemporary, Shirley Bassey is going to be singing at the Oscars for the very first time in her career. And Shirley, of course, is one of Barbra's contemporaries. They both, you know, were recording at the same time, putting out albums at the same time. Shirley's a couple of years older than Barbra. But Shirley has the distinction of having had recorded 3 James Bond songs. She sang Moonraker, Diamonds Are Forever, and Goldfinger. Now, if there was a betting parlor where I could go and lay down a bet, I would bet $1 million that Shirley Bassey will be singing Goldfinger. Because it's a great song. And it's so Bond, right? My husband Leslie is a huge James Bond fan. So now he's got a vested interest in watching the Oscars with me because he wants to watch Shirley. Plus, there's a rumor that all the James Bonds might show up. We'll see. We'll see. Always thought Barbra should have sung a James Bond song. She missed the boat on that one. I mean, she could have done through, you know, Nobody Does It Better. She could have done For Your Eyes Only. Gorgeous songs. One of the ones that's most people don't even know it is You Only Live Twice. Believe me, guys, listen to that song. It's gorgeous, gorgeous John Barry music. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Barbra. There was a Yentl screening on Friday in Hollywood, and Michel Legrand was there, and he spoke with the audience. Now, I haven't gotten any reports from anybody about what happened, except that I did see something on Facebook that supposedly somebody asked Michel if Barbra was difficult to work with, and he said she was never difficult for him, or something to that effect. He said only lovely things about her, which is as it should be. They're good old friends, and they certainly reached their zenith working together on Yentl, with the Bergmans, of course. So let's see, what else is on my list? Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. What's on the list. Now, that means we have extra time to do Barbra memorabilia. The way she was, my stuff, my stash, my Barbra, I don't know. Still don't have a name for it, but let's start, okay? I have to step back because I have some big stuff to show you this week. The first thing is this. Now, one of the things that I mentioned when I told you guys to go out and buy classical Barbra, I don't even know if there's that many record stores anymore, but one of the things that I miss about record stores is stuff like this. See that? That is a poster that I got at a record store for Barbra Streisand's Greatest Hits Volume 2. Beautiful Francesca Scarola photo. Is that, I mean, that's gorgeous, right? Same thing on the other side. This has a little hole here, and they would hang this, and it would hang in the store as a promotion for the movie. This kind of stuff is gone now because there's no more record stores. I mean, I love the convenience of Amazon, but I miss the record stores. Now, here's another thing. This, I don't know where this came from, but some artist did it. And this is a beautiful, beautiful image of Barbra as Anshul from Yentl. I think that's absolutely gorgeous work. Color. This is a reproduction. Somebody sent it to me, or I got it somehow. And I just think that's absolutely beautiful. I really think it captures Barbra as Yentl, or Anshul, actually. Now, here's another thing. In 1970, Barbra became the first person to ever win the Q Magazine Entertainer of the Year award. Now, Q Magazine was a big magazine in the 50s and 60s and going into the 70s in the Northeast in New York area. And eventually it was bought up by New York Magazine. But Barbra is the only person to ever get that Entertainer of the Year award twice. She got the first one in 1963, the second one in 1970, and this is the very, very rare, hard to find cover. And as you can see, there's like shades of Dolly in there. This is part of the Dolly look. And there's the younger Barbra up here. And this is part of my collection. I think this is a stamp from the library. I must have gotten this from the library at some time in my life. Either the library was getting rid of it or something. But it's now part of my collection. And let's see, more interesting stuff. In the 1990s, my friend Tom Gallion and I, from Just Like Butter, we were trying to come up with interesting Barbra items to share with fans, to sell with fans, things that were fun, collectibles. So we came up with an idea of doing a series of Barbra cards, like trading cards, like baseball cards, football cards, Pokemon cards. So here's two of the cards from the set that we created. This one is, of course, All Night Long. And as you can see the back, I'll show you the back. Barbra cards, All Night Long, Cheryl Gibbons. I have a little write-up about it. That's one card, and they were done beautifully printed, glossy stock, hard paper, beautifully done. Tom did a wonderful job on that. Here's another one. This is a great shot of Barbra as Melinda from On a Clear Day. Look at those great shadows. Isn't that beautiful? And there's the back of it. So these are collectibles. I'm sure these are very hard to come by nowadays. I have a few, because I saved some. And but that's, interesting, creative, fun stuff to collect. Now here's a very, very unusual photo. My friend Todd Sussman gave me a copy of this. This is a shot, this came from the Miami Herald. And this is a picture of Barbra and Elliot in 1963 arriving at the Miami International Airport. And as you can see, there's not a lot of paparazzi around them. Probably just one photographer there. But I just love that image. I love their kind of natural quality, holding hands, getting off the plane. Elliot's got the newspapers in his hands. Barbra's got an attaché case of some sort. And they just look so young and interesting. I love the sunglasses. And so thank you, Todd, for lending me that image. Now, finally, actually, it's not finally. Actually, this is finally. This is the last item. This is a very, very interesting, rare, pretty rare poster that was created for the '94 concert, but only for the San Francisco area when Barbra played the San Jose Arena. And this is the poster that was created. See that? Very unusual, very different from all the other posters from '94. And this was a gift that was given to me by a friend named Joe Headley. And I saved it all these years. I always meant to get it framed, but I got so much stuff framed. So that, if you ever see that on eBay, that's kind of a rarity, folks. And it is an original. It's not something that somebody created now. It's the real thing. So that's Barbra memories for this week. And I'm very, very excited about all the great Barbra stuff going on. It feels like week after week we're getting more and more good stuff. And I know I talk to you guys all the time about this, but trust me, the Oscars, the Lincoln Center, all this stuff is all part of a planned, promotion. There's more going on behind the scenes, especially about Gypsy. And we're going to find out very, very soon. But in the meantime, it's wonderful that Barbra's out there singing. She's out there speaking causes, going to events. I told you last week she went to that thing at Norman Lear's house about politics. Our Barbra does not rest on her laurels. She is an active, busy woman. And I think we should probably all emulate her and try to be as active as she is. Now, finally, I'm going to kind of wrap this up a little early this week because I went so long last week. as I told you last week, I was getting ready to do chemo. It was kind of rough this week. I hope I don't look too drawn out, too pale. I've had better weeks, folks. What can I tell you? But I'm certainly not complaining, because good times and bum times, I've seen them all, and my friends, I'm still here. And I hope to be here for a very, very long time to come. And I do so appreciate everybody who have been kicking in on my Nothing's Impossible project, because every little bit helps, you know, whether it's $10, $15, somebody sent me $50, somebody sent me $100, whatever it is, it's really, really helpful. And I hate being the face of the faulty, healthcare system in our country, but unfortunately I am. You know, I don't like being it, but that's the truth of the matter. It's just crazy. So if anybody wants to contribute this week, I'm going to hold up my sign, and please give what you can, whatever it is. And if you care to support the Sunday with Ally broadcast, this is the best way to do it, because I'm clearly not getting any sponsors. And I'm not getting a recording contract anytime soon. So anyway, before I go, I said I was going to make this shorter, and here I am talking some more. Before I go, this week is Valentine's Day, and I encourage all of you, whether you're with somebody, a significant other, and can share the day doing something romantic, do it. And if you're not with somebody and you just kind of hope you'll be with somebody sometime in the future, do yourself a favor, put on a Barbra movie, do something, a fun Barbra movie, something optimistic, something with a happy ending. Maybe The Mirror Has Two Faces, where Barbra said, she finally got the guy. You don't want to watch The Prince of Tides or The Way We Were, as much as I love them, because you might end up crying. Now, if you're in a relationship and your significant other likes those movies, watch them. Watch them. And when in doubt, you can always watch Funny Girl, because then you get the sweet and the sad. And you could actually, a lot of times when I watch Funny Girl, I only go as far as Don't Rain on My Parade or Sadie Sadie. I stop the movie before the end so that I can end it on a happy note. Because if I get to my man, I'm definitely going to start crying. So until next week, this is your weepy, optimistic Sunday with Ally broadcaster, Ally Waldman, signing off. And I will see you guys next week with more Sunday with Ally. And have a great week, everybody. And remember, the Oscars are just 2 weeks from today. A chance to watch Barbra. Bye-bye.